station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
He got away with it. Gotta be the same guy.
Tonight on your news at 9, a DC bagel shop needs your help finding a suspect who they say stole hundreds of dollars from them. Why some think the same person has struck before. Prepare for possible flight delays, what you need to know about construction going on at Reagan National Airport. And a tornado touches down in Maryland. We take a closer look at the damage left behind. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Randy Bass in for Annalisa Gale. Tonight we start off with a look at your forecast. We've seen a little bit of everything this weekend, and our meteorologist Scott Subner tracking a chilly start to the week. Scott.
That's right, Randy. Yeah, we're talking about the cold tonight, not severe weather and not warm temperatures. As a matter of fact, we're talking temperatures that are chilly right now. Kaiser coming in at 42 degrees, 44 at Cumberland, 49 at Woodstock, 45 at Luray. Meanwhile, 54 at DC, 56 at Waldorf, and 60 at Lexington Park. Why am I showing these numbers here and pointing out the cooler temperatures? Because that's the area that's under the freeze warning today for Luray up to Woodstock, so Page County. We're also looking at the county of Shenandoah. Then we have inland western portions of Allegheny County, also inland Mineral County. All of those kick in 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock tomorrow. Expected temperatures to drop down to freezing. So hopefully you've either taken care of your tender vegetation, brought that in, or you've also checked your outdoor pipes and plumbing there. Make sure that there's no freezing going on there. A little drip in the tap doesn't hurt. And as you can see, the numbers under partly cloudy skies falling through the 50s where they are now into the 40s. And if you're in the 40s, you continue to fall throughout the 40s. We'll talk about tomorrow's forecast and beyond with my 7-day coming up in just a bit.
All right, Scott, thanks. New tonight, a DC bagel shop owner hopes you might be able to help them identify someone who they say stole big money from them. The crook claimed to be a fire equipment inspector, but he's really not. Dave Laval tells us how it happened and explains that it might not be his first time doing something like this.
Security footage caught this man dressed in black with the ball cap Saturday morning at Pearl's Bagels near Mount Vernon Square. He talked to the manager on duty, then went back to check on fire suppression equipment over the cooking area.
So he came right over here. Our staff saw him. He walks over and he read fire line.
That's the company co-owner Oliver Cox says provides the service.
Sure.
However, the man in black does not work for Fireline. He presented 4 receipts from a company called Metro Fire Prevention. It does not exist. The man never returned as he left with more than just a thank you.
$970 cash. She just looked at the totals. She didn't look at the specifics, and we're too busy, which is, I think, honestly part of his plan.
The receipts claim Metro Fire Prevention is located on State Street in D.C. There's no such street named that.
He spoke the jargon in a believable way that he seemed like he was really with the company we do contract with.
Pearl's Bagels may not be the first victim. The suspect resembles someone who pulled similar scams in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania that date back all the way to 2017. All involved a company called Metro Fire Prevention or Protection.
Gotta be the same guy.
Each scam involves several hundreds of dollars in cash. In D.C., it would be considered theft in the second degree, since the amount is less than the $1,000 necessary to be considered first-degree theft. It's punishable with a fine and up to 180 days in jail. In Mount Vernon Square, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
That was Dave Laval reporting. The owners there tell us they do not blame the manager on duty for what happened. And a middle school security guard in Montgomery County has been arrested. He's accused of showing a 13-year-old pornography in school. And today we've learned that guard has a criminal past. This latest incident happened at Earl B. Wood Middle School in Aspen Hill. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has more.
36-year-old Varvy Daughtry is being charged with 1 count of sexual abuse of a minor and 1 count of displaying obscene items to a minor. According to an affidavit, detectives received a report that a 13-year-old boy was in a classroom at Earl B. Wood Middle School under the temporary care and custody of Daughtry on November 30th of last year. Police say the boy was in in-school intervention, or ISI, after getting in a fight with another student the day before. The boy told detectives Daughtry was assigned as his supervisor and was the only person in the room at the time. According to the affidavit, the boy asked Daughtry about his job and asked him if he had any other jobs. And Daughtry told him that he worked as a security guard at a nightclub in D.C. That's when police say Daughtry showed the boy pictures on his phone of naked women. The boy said Daughtry showed him several videos, too, recalling one particular video of what he believed was two people having sex. Investigators say Daughtry showed the boy more images of women that he dated and said to the boy that, quote, he hit that. After Daughtry left the classroom, the boy stated that he felt uncomfortable with the images that he had seen and knew that the images were inappropriate.
I'm not sure how things like this keep flying under the radar with MCPS. You know, it's scary as a parent, you know, because I do have, you know, a freshman in high school, but at this point, nothing surprises me.
Last month, detectives reviewed images from Daughtry's cell phone and found images matching what the 13-year-old described.
I hope parents step up and try to maybe push something with, you know, the Department of Education to try to make sure our kids are safe, you know, because, I mean, it is scary.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Daniel Hamburg.
And the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill to prohibit school sports programs from allowing transgender athletes to participate. The bill passed along Republican Party lines on Thursday, banning trans women from playing sports at federally funded schools. Several Republicans say the move has been done to protect Title IX, which gives equal rights to women competing in sports. However, many Democrats call it an attack on the trans community.
Extreme MAGA Republicans doing everything possible to jam their right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people.
The bill is not expected to pass through the democratically controlled Senate. And developing now, the Biden administration says it's ramping up security at the southern border in preparation for May 11th. That's the day the sweeping pandemic border restrictions known as Title 42 are set to expire. The White House says they expect to see a surge in migrant crossings once that policy ends, but some lawmakers say they're concerned that Border Patrol isn't prepared. Washington correspondent Anna Warnicki has the story.
DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the department is preparing for an expected surge of migrants at the southern border once Title 42 expires.
Surging resources, driving new efficiencies, attacking the cartels.
Under Title 42, U.S. Customs and Border Protection was able to immediately turn away migrants at the southern border over concerns of COVID-19. Muzaffar Chisti with the Migration Policy Institute says border agents will now be using pre-pandemic policy.
We now have to process them under the traditional immigration law.
That policy, known as Title 8, requires Border Patrol agents to screen migrants to determine if they're eligible for asylum and remove those who don't qualify. But Republicans, including Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty, fear returning to Title 8 will shift critical resources needed for border security.
This dramatic increase in processing times absent Title 42 will significantly decrease the scarce resources available to actually patrol our southern border.
May 11th is going to be a very challenging day.
Texas Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar says she's working with DHS to make sure the resources are in place so border communities like El Paso aren't overwhelmed.
The weeks and months that follow will be incredibly challenging for our community.
In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
Weather tends to be the main culprit behind flight delays and cancellations, but as DC News Now's Joseph Omo reports, there may be another reason why flying at Reagan National over the next 2 years might be a bit more turbulent.
Hey there, good evening. Roughly 600 commercial flights take off from Reagan National Airport every day, but the main runways that are used for departures are about to get a major overhaul, and depending on the timing of your flight, it could mean that you end up landing at a different airport. Airport officials say even though they've worked with the airlines and the FAA to minimize impacts to passengers, there is a chance that late night or early morning flights into Reagan could either be canceled or diverted if they are delayed from the originating airport. So, example here, you have a flight from LaGuardia to DCA, but when you get to the airport in New York, you realize that your flight to DC is delayed for whatever reason. There is a risk it could be diverted to Dulles or just be canceled outright. Now, important to note here, if your flight to DCA is on time, then there probably won't be an issue. So Why specifically late night or morning flights? Why are those the most affected? That is the time period when all of this work is going to be happening. Some runways will be shut down as early as 8 p.m. and then will reopen again at 6 o'clock in the morning. This pavement project, it's going to last until November of 2024. So buckle your seatbelts, something certainly to be on the lookout for when booking your next flight. Try to do a day flight if possible. Reporting here in the studio, I'm Joseph Olmo. DC News Now, back to you.
All right, we have current temperature outside right now, 54 degrees in the district. We also still have breezy conditions north-northwest at 15 miles an hour. We'll see those winds relax a little bit overnight tonight, and the temperatures continue to fall throughout the evening. Clear skies right now in D.C. We'll continue to see those clear skies, but look at the temperatures here. You know, the last couple of weeks we've been looking at numbers cool to start the week and then much warmer towards the end of the week. Status quo here, pretty much, and below average here. The average high in D.C. should be 71, the average low, 51. So we'll be pretty much below that or close to it, maybe tying it or going a degree above it. But overall, we'll be slightly below normal here throughout that 7-day period. Now the question comes up, Scott, will we have some rain? Because you know what? It is barren out there. The dry ground is real. Abnormally dry conditions are being seen. And we had a couple of sprinkles that moved through today, but we're not going to see anything in the short term. We will have some rain coming up here in the longer duration. And tomorrow, having said that, what is tomorrow looking like? Down chilly and breezy in the morning. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We have a northwest breeze of 5 to 15 miles an hour. And during the course of the afternoon, we can have wind speeds and gusts getting up to around 20 miles an hour. So again, we have a freeze warning in effect for portions of the Shenandoah Valley as well as western Maryland. Cool and breezy Monday. Below normal temperatures this week, and rain chances will increase later in the week. We'll talk specific days coming up with the 7-day forecast in just a bit.